For a News 18 This Morning exclusive, Modern Medicine doesn't know what causes attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or commonly known as ADHD, but some studies say artificial food coloring does play a role. These colors are found in everything from candy and cereal to even mouthwash and marshmallows.
The FDA makes companies list AFCs in their ingredients, but doesn't make them list how much. Now, a new study from Purdue is looking at those amounts, showing how much we eat every day. It's those numbers that can help determine if there really is a link between AFCs and ADHD. Dylan Bowler is 11 years old. Like many other kids, he plays video games, likes Legos, and enjoys playing outside. But when he was 5, his mother, Shannon, noticed it became harder to communicate with him.
I would be right here with him, and he would just straight through me. Like, he's right here looking at me, but not with me. You know what I mean? Like, just zoned out elsewhere.
After a trip to the doctor and a talk with his teacher, Dylan was diagnosed with ADHD. The disorder makes it difficult for Dylan to pay attention or control his behavior. Since the diagnosis, Dylan has been taking medication with varying success, but Bowler doesn't like giving her son a pill.
I feel like I'm drugging my child on a daily basis.
So in February, Bowler removed as many processed foods from Dylan's diet as she could. She did this after reading that some studies have linked artificial food coloring to ADHD in children. Now a new study out of Purdue measures how much AFCs are in some of our favorite foods.
The dyes we're talking about are those that have a number, and they're referred to as FD and C, red number 3 and red 40 and yellow 5 and yellow 6.
Laura Stevens is the head researcher on that study. She found that many children could be consuming far more dyes than previously thought. AFCs may be all over the supermarket, but food companies are not required to show how much coloring goes into their products. Without a pinpoint amount to test, researchers can't answer the big questions, like does eating AFC cause ADHD, and if so, how much is too much? The studies that used 27 milligrams were criticized for using too little, while ones that used more than 50 milligrams were criticized for using too much.
And so we thought we would test to see just how much kids could consume in a day.
Stevens' team found a range of amounts because it really all depends on what kids eat. Some cereals, for example, have no artificial coloring, but others, like Trix and Cap'n Crunch Oops All Berries, had levels that, in some studies, triggered ADHD symptoms in a small number of children. Researchers around the world, including Stevens, broadly agree that even if there is a link between ADHD and AFCs, it cannot be the only link. Pediatrician Tim Snyder says doctors are also taking a careful approach.
Obviously, that can't be the only factor causing ADD, because everyone in the country would have that, if that was a causative factor. So we know it can't only be that.
Trix is made by General Mills and Cap'n Crunch is made by Quaker Oats. General Mills and Quaker's owner Pepsi are a part of the Grocery Manufacturers Association. In a statement to News 18, the GMA calls Stevens' study, quote, drastically imprecise and could have easily produced inaccurate findings, and also adds our companies continuously review and monitor all emerging science and scientific studies to help ensure that we are always producing the safest possible product for our consumers. In the meantime, Bowler will continue keeping AFCs out of Dylan's food.
When I keep all that stuff out of their diet, it's a big change.
In 2011, the FDA voted 8-6 to reject mandatory AFC amount labeling. It says more study needs to be done on the link between AFCs and ADHD.